Hey guys, just a follow up on yesterday's video about plotting your garden. I know yesterday we didn't get a lot of information in there because I was just checking the plot that we had, but today I'm going to show you how to actually figure out where you're going to put your plants, which ones go together, um, and I think it would be pretty beneficial. So let's check it out. Okay, to show you guys the beginning of the process on how we can plot stuff out, I wrote down all of the vegetables that I was growing, and you'll see it, I got the little purple over it. So corn, lettuce, tomato, green beans, watermelon, zucchini, all of that stuff. And you can tell, look, it doesn't need to be pretty. Like so many channels, everything's just so perfect and amazing, but real life isn't like that. At least mine isn't. So I wrote down all of the stuff that I was growing, and then I just did a quick Google search, like what's a good companion plant that can be near these. And then I wrote out all the companion plants next to it. And if something came up that said, do not plant this by this other one, then of course I wrote that down as well. And so once I had this completed, I can go about making my rough draft. And then here's my rough draft. So I plotted it out with no measurements or anything like that, just kind of what it looked like. And I start placing in the plants that go next to each other in here. So I know in my biggest plot, the things that go well together are the squash, the cauliflower, the peppers, the cucumbers, the cabbage, all of that. And so this is just a rough draft. And then you know that we went out today and measured how much space we actually have. And then I counted how many plants I have, or how many sprouts I have from the seeds that I planted. Because I planted, way more of the squash. I planted 6, but only 2 of them popped up, which that was my fault. I let that one get dry. I realized I was only just spraying the top and not letting the water get down. They might continue to come up later, but, taking a tally or a census of how many plants you have, how big our plot is, and then we can do this. Okay, so this is what we have here. I took my dimensions from my garden earlier, and I'm doing it one at a time since this biggest plot is the one that I'm going to map out right now. I have a list here of all of the different sprouts that I have, how many there are. And then right here, I just did a quick Google search. So for peppers, they need to be, 18 inches apart, cherry tomatoes, watermelon. So I did a quick search on how far apart they need to be planted. And then I created, a miniature map of theirs. So this bed is, 34.75 feet long. And so I used centimeters to mark out a foot. So I dropped it down in scale, and now I can go in and plot which plants I have, where I want them to be. You can see here I had already figured out the companion gardening, like I discussed a little bit ago. And so I know this is where I want each of these things, but now I need to figure out how to make all my sprouts fit within the plot that I have. So let me do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. All right, there we have it. And I just realized I have a ton more space to put stuff, actually. So my job today is going to be starting some more seeds to fill in this space and get a bigger crop. Okay, so I hope that kind of helps you guys figure out as an idea of how to go about plotting your garden. It's so difficult to sort through the information sometimes, and it seems overwhelming, and so most people just give up. But it really doesn't need to be. Just plot out the size of your garden, even if it's just in your home or in buckets or whatever. Do a quick search. First of all, only grow foods that you like. Like, don't grow things you don't like. If you, don't like tomatoes, don't waste your time growing them. But find the vegetables and things that you like. Find out which ones can be planted close together that work well with each other as a companion plant. Start growing them, just a little bit of dirt and a seed and some water in a well-lit room, and they'll start to sprout for you. And then, once you got your sprouts and you know how many you have, start figuring out where you're going to place them together, either in your buckets or in your garden. And a quick Google search can tell you all of this. Like if you're growing cucumber, do a quick Google search. What's a good companion plant for cucumber? And see if you're growing any of those. And the other thing that you'd want to check is how far apart should I grow cucumbers? And it'll tell you 2 feet. So, or, if they're on a trellis, they can be closer together, stuff like that. You don't need to make it difficult. Start with one vegetable at a time, write down the information about it from your Google search, and then plot it all together on a piece of paper. So that way you have a game plan for when you start. So I hope this was helpful. Please like and subscribe, and you guys have a great day.